Hi students. So today we will complete the chapter on loops on Python class 7 CBSE. So you all have already seen we have done the for loop in my previous videos. So please go and check that out. So now today we'll understand the while loop. Okay. Before that, let me just give you a little example of for loop so that you can just recap what we did in the last class. Okay. Now let me just remove this. Okay, so suppose I just want to print the first 9 natural numbers. Okay, so how do we do that? This is a syntax for I is any variable in, and then range it will generate. If you remember, range we have 3 parameters: the start, stop, and the step. Right, the start, it's an optional. If you don't give, it takes from 0. Stop is compulsory, so this is mandatory. So whatever you give, it takes 1 less than that, so it will be 1 till 9. And then you have the third parameter as a step, but here I'm not giving any step value, so default it will take as 1. Right, so for I in range 1 to 10 means it will generate values from 1 till 9, right? And then I'm printing this. So this loop will go on from 1 till 9 and keep printing I, right? So let's see how it works. Say, let me run and check. So see, 1 till 9 has been printed, correct? Now coming to our while loop. Now what is a while loop? In while loop, what do we do? This is also for iterating or repeating us, like the for loop, where we repeat this line of code as many number of times, like we are repeating this 9 times, right? This line. Similarly, in while loop also we do the repetition of the code. Okay, but here it is based on a condition. Like in for loop, what it happens, it is based on the range values. For a particular range of values, we iterate the code, right? But in while, we have a condition instead of a range value. So till the time the condition is satisfied, the code within the while loop will continue. Okay, so in while loop, the statements within your while loop that executes till your condition is satisfied. So once the condition is not satisfied, it will stop iterating. Okay, now let's try to see an example of the same that we did, this generating 1 to 9 numbers using a for loop. Let's try to do with a while. So in while we have this, how the syntax is. We write while and then we write the condition next to it and then a colon, and then whatever we write in the same indentation, that all comes in this while loop. Okay, now see what here I have to print 1 to 9 numbers. So I have taken initially I is equal to 0. Okay, now I'll say why. Initially I'll take I1 because I have to iterate from 1 till 9, right? So initially I have taken I is equal to 1. Okay, let me comment out these 2 lines. Okay, I1. Now I'm checking while I less than 10, means it will go till I is 9, right? Less than, if I give less than equal to, then it will go till 10, but I gave less than, so it will go till 9, right? So while I is less than 10, you keep executing these statements for me. Okay, now see, first time when it coming, I is 1 here, right? So 1 is less than 10, correct? So it will come to this line, this entire block. Okay, so here it will print I, which is 1, it will print. Then I am changing I ka value, incrementing I ka value by 1. See, now I is becoming I plus 1. That means 1 plus 1, 2. Now I will become 2. Now it will again go up and check, is I less than 10, means is 2 less than 10? Yes, still satisfied. Again it will come print 2 and it will make this I now 2 plus 1, 3. So now my I became 3. Now it will again go up, again check, 3 less than 10, yes, again it will print 3. Again it will come to this line, it will make 3 plus 1, 4. Again it will, so like this it will go till I is 9. So it will print 9 here. Now I becomes Okay, so it will print 9, right? I9. Now here in this statement, I becomes 9 plus 1, which is 10. Now it will go up and check this condition. Is 10 less than 10? No, it is no, right? It is no. This condition does not satisfy. So it will not come to this line. It will come to whatever line you write here. End maybe. Okay. So this on I is equal to 9, this loop will break and it will come to this line and stop. Now let's run and see how it works. See, 1 end. Is it clear? I hope student it's clear, right? Now there are a couple of points in while loop. Just remember, see, this conditions that we are giving, it shouldn't be an infinite loop, right? The condition should be such that it becomes true at one point. If it does not become true at any point, what happens? This will go on and on in an infinite loop. So your condition has to be finite so that it stops after some time. Clear? Any confusion in that? Now see here they have given an example, like just see this example, okay? Here a is equal to 1 they have defined. They are checking while a less than 5, okay? A is less than 5 because 1 is less than 5. They will print a, which is 1. Now it will again go back and check. Now we are not changing any value of a any. A remains 1 only. So this condition will always satisfy, right? So what does this mean? This entire thing will go on an infinite loop. Means it will keep on executing and executing and executing. Clear? Because this condition will never becomes false. So be sure whenever we put a condition, it has to be such that it becomes false at one point of time. Clear? So here that's why see now they have just modified, so they are incrementing. So once a becomes more than 5, this loop will stop. Clear? Okay, so please make sure we don't put this in an infinite loop. Infinite loop means, as I said, infinite loop is where your condition keeps on satisfying forever. It never becomes false. The condition never becomes false. Okay, an infinite loop is a loop that does not end. I hope this example is also clear, right? And how they corrected it. Then let's see some of the examples given in your book. Now see the first example, very simple. You have to display odd numbers less than equal to 15. Only the odd numbers. So let's try to write this program. You have to display the odd numbers, okay? So odd numbers less than 15. So I have to start from 1 only, right? So while I less than, because till 15, so it will be I less than 15. Okay, let me not change this program. Let me copy paste and so that you all have it all and you all can see it. Okay, so I have to go from 1 till 15. So I'll write this as 15, less than 15. So I have to print the odd numbers, right? So I'll make print I, right? So first odd number has been printed. I want the odd number, so it has to be in the step of 2, right? So instead of I plus 1, I'll do here I plus 2, correct? So first time I becomes 1, next time it becomes 1 plus 1, 3. It will go again check, then print 3. Then it will become 3 plus 2 again 5. So again check, again it will come, right? So like this it will go on till 15, right? Now let's see if this works for us. So see, all odd numbers below 15 has been printed. Clear? I hope in your book also see the same thing they have given. See, it is equal to 15. So yeah, we should have written less than equal to 15. So it should have gone till 15, not less than 15. Okay. So see here it's till 15. Clear? So just this increment part is very important. Okay. Similarly, even number, see this is an odd number we have taken. Even number also you can find out, very simple. In even number we'll start I from 2 and it's the same code. First I will be 2, we'll print 2, then it will be 2 plus 2 4, then 4 plus 2 6. So like this, all this will be printed, the even numbers. Just the difference is I is equal to 2 you have to take instead of I is equal to 1. Clear? Now let's move forward to the second. Okay, now let's try to understand this program from your book. Okay, so what is the program you need to do? It's written program to take in as many numbers as the user wants and display their sum. Okay, so the program, we have to input some numbers, as many the user want, we have to input the numbers and display their final sum of all the numbers. Okay, now here see I have written this code. Let's say it's the same as your book. See, so I have to find the sum first, right, of all the numbers. So I'll take sum is equal to 0, right, because in this sum variable I'll keep adding all the numbers, right. Then this how many numbers I'll take, that depends on as much as user wants, right. So I have to keep asking user their choice whether they want more numbers or not. Yes, so I have just taken a variable choice with yes. Okay, I will have my while loop checking the condition of user. So while choice is while, or in equal to we write double equal to, that's a syntax. Okay, don't forget, don't write single equal to, it's double equal to. So while choice is equal to y, or choice is equal to capital Y, because we don't know, user might enter a y in small letters or in caps letters, so we'll have both the check implemented. Okay, so while this condition is satisfying, we will execute this steps. Okay, now first time this condition is satisfying because we have given choice is equal to y, so this satisfied. Now here we are taking and enter a number from user in num. Okay, so in num we are asked, it's an integer input that we are taking. I hope you remember the syntax of input, and this is an integer type, data type, right. So in num we are inputting the number, first number. Here we are doing, because we have to find the sum of all those numbers which user enter. So here I'm keep adding sum, I'm keep adding that number to the sum. So sum is equal to sum plus num. So then I'm asking user the choice again. Input enter y or y to continue. If user wants to continue more, I'm asking enter this. So now see, it will enter either y or capital Y to continue, right. If he enters anything else, this condition will not satisfy, right. So this loop will break and will come out to this line. But till the time user enters y, this will keep on repeating, correct. Now let's run and see, and then we'll see this how it's done. Let's run. So see, first time my in first iteration. Okay, let me show you here. In first iteration what is happening, first iteration my sum is equal to 0 and choice is equal to y, right. So I enter this loop and it is asking me for a number. I enter a number, suppose 3, enter. Now when I enter 3, it will come to this line. Here what will sum become? Sum is equal to sum plus num, right. Sum was 0, right, sum was 0 here, correct. So it will be 0 plus 3. So now my sum becomes 3 in this iteration. Now it is asking enter this or this to continue. Suppose I want to continue again, I gave y. Now it will again ask me an n. So if I give y, it will come back to this condition check again it will come to this line, right. It will ask me enter a number again. So I'll enter another number, maybe suppose I entered 6. Now when I entered 6, now what will my sum become? Sum will become sum plus num. So sum was 3, right. Last iteration we got sum as 3. Now in second iteration my sum will be what? Sum is equal to sum plus num. Sum was 3 from first iteration. So it will be 3 plus what number I gave? 6. So it will be 3 plus 6. So now sum become 9, correct. Now again it is asking me to continue. I said yes, I want to continue. Again it will go back, check the condition, it's satisfying. Again it will ask me to enter a number. Now this is a third iteration going on, right? Now again it will ask me, suppose I enter now, here I entered num is equal to 6. Now suppose here I entered num is equal to maybe 4. Okay, here I entered num is equal to 4. Okay, now my this line sum is equal to sum plus num. You tell me what it will be. Sum. What was my last sum in the second iteration? It was 9. So it will be 9 plus num, which is 4. So it will be 9 plus 4, which is equal to 30. Right? Now again it will ask me for a choice. Now suppose here I say no, I don't want to, or any other value I give instead of, either I give no or I give any other value, any other input except this y. So if I don't give y any other, this condition will not satisfy, right? It will come out of this loop and it will print this. Now there is some problem. Let's see what is the problem. Can you all figure out what's the problem? See, I told you Python is case sensitive. You cannot have a caps p, it's a small p. Okay, so let us just save this again and rerun. So we'll enter the same numbers again. Okay, sorry, just a minute. Okay, now I have just removed all these iterations here because here we cannot save. Then let us run. Okay, let's put the same values that we were having in checking. Okay, so first number was 3. Yes. Second number was 6. Yes again. Third number was 4. Now I don't want, I give any other value except y, right? So suppose I give k, it will come up. So see, it will be sum of numbers entered by user is 13, the final sum value. Clear? Just tell me, is it any doubt that you all having, students? I think it's very clear how it's going, the first iteration. So once this condition is not satisfied, it will come out and print the sum, the full sum. Okay, and remember students, all those statements are being considered as part of the while loop which are indented. Okay, one that is not indented with while loop, that will consider as outside while loop. Okay, clear? Do let me know if you have any doubt in this. Okay, now let's move forward. Okay student, now since we have understood while loop, let's just try to understand this few theory stuffs. So we have something called deterministic loop and we have something called non-deterministic loop. Okay, so deterministic loop is a for loop, okay, where the number of iteration that we are doing, it's known in advanced loops, right? Because we are taking range 1 to 20 or 1 to whatever. So we know that this loop will go from 1 till 20. That iteration number is known in advance to us, right? But in non-deterministic loop, right, the while loop, we don't know for how long it will go, right? It depends on our condition, right? For example, right now the program that we have written, right, this here we don't know for how long this iteration will go, right? It depends on user basically, right? So this is called a non-deterministic loop. Okay, so for loop is your deterministic loop and while loop is your non-deterministic loop. Okay, now we have a high level language which is Fortran, like Python is one of the language, right? So similarly we have Fortran also for one of the programming language which is known as formula translation, and it was developed in 1957 by John Backus. Okay, so this is one of the oldest programming language that we still use today, and it is very useful to do complex statistical, mathematical and scientific work. Okay, then we have this, then we have Python. Python we all know, right? So Python, we know Python is widely used in development of web application, as it has exhaustive collection of frameworks and libraries. So for web application, for the development of web applications, we use Python because it has an exhaustive collection of frameworks and libraries. This enables quick and easy development of applications. Extensive Python coding has been used in websites of Google, Instagram, Spotify, Uber, Dropbox. So we use all this in our daily life these days, right? So in all this we have used Python for development. Clear? I hope this entire chapter is clear. Now let's try to write one or two programs so that it's easier for us to understand while and for loop concept. Okay? So let's see which one we write. Now let's try to write the program for this fifth one. It's a simple program. We just need to understand. So it's written, write a program to take in 10 numbers from the users. So we have to take 10 numbers, right? So we know the iteration will be 10 times, right? Now then they're saying display, so 10 numbers from the user, and then display the count of negative numbers entered by the user. So we have to check if it is negative number or not. Then we have to display the count, not the number, but the count of negative numbers. So how will you figure out if the number is negative or not? Simple, you just have to check if it is less than 0. If it is less than 0, that means it is negative number, right? So let's try to write a program for this. Okay, so here what we need to do, we have to input 10 numbers from the user. So you can use a for loop also, you can use a while loop also. So let's do with while only this time. So while I less than, because 10 numbers, right? So while I less than 11, okay, or maybe less than equal to, we can take 10. Okay, so we have to enter a number from user. Num is equal to integer input, enter a number. Okay, we have to check if num is equal to, okay, so we'll enter this. Now we have to check if num less than 0. If num is less than 0, that means it's a negative number. So we have to count this, right? So I will take a variable outside this, count is equal to 0. Okay, so here if it is less than 0, I'll just do, sorry, see one mistake I did. It should be this way, right? So here count is equal to count plus 1. Correct? And then I have to increment. So in if loop, only this one condition I want. Then in while loop, I have to increment my I ka value, because I have to go I plus 1. Correct? I is equal to I plus 1. Then print total count of negative numbers entered is comma, and then you will write count. Okay, now let's try to see and run, and then I'll explain. Okay, there is an error. Let's see what is an error. See, if you can see in the error, they have written name I is not defined. So here we have to define I is equal to 1. That's the wrong thing that we have done. We have to define it. Now let's save and run. Okay, so we're asking us for a number. Okay, now let's see. Let us enter a number. Maybe I enter -5. Again it is asking me a number. I enter again in a -8. Again a number. It will go on, right, till 10 times, correct? So I entered maybe 9 this time. I'll enter 4, 5, then -3, -8, 6, -5. Like this 10 numbers I have to enter, correct? -9. So see, total count is 6, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Total 6. Now total negative numbers. Now see how this is working. Students, let's try to understand this. Okay. Now here how it is working. See, I'll just show you in iteration wise how it is going. Okay, then it will be easier for you to understand. Okay, now here if you see first iteration, first time when the loop start, iteration 1, what happened? Your count is equal to 0, right? Your I is equal to 1. Okay, now when it comes to this line, while this condition is satisfied, right? So it will execute this statements. Now here I am entering one number from the user, and user entered what? Num is equal to, we entered -5, correct? So num is -5 here, correct? Num is -5. Now I am checking if num is less than 0. This condition is satisfied because -5 is less than 0. So I am doing count is equal to count plus 1. So what does my count becomes here? Count was 0. So I did count is equal to 0 plus 1. So count became 1 here. Count is equal to 0 plus 1, which becomes 1 here, correct? It will come out of the if loop. Now it will increment I. Now I becomes I is equal to I plus 1. So I was 1. So it becomes 1 plus 1 is equal to 2. Correct? Now it will go up. Check this again. Now 2 is less than equal to 10. Correct? Now it will again enter a number. Now we are going for second iteration, right? Iteration 2. Now here your I. Now in second iteration your count is equal to what? Count is your 1. I is equal to 2. Right? See? From first iteration, right? Count becomes 1, I becomes 2, right? Now num that I entered was -8. -8 is what I entered, if you see, right? So now again it will check if num is less than 0. Yes, it is less than 0, so it will increment count again, right? So now my count becomes here, count is equal to count plus 1. Count was 1, so it will be 1 plus 1 is equal to 2. Now I also, now it will come out of if loop and I becomes I plus 1, which is I is equal to I is 2. So it will be 2 plus 1 is equal to 3. Clear? Now again it will go up for iteration 3, third time executing. Now 3 is less than equal to 10, right? So again it will come here. So now in third iteration my count is how much? Count is 2. Right? So count is 2 and I is equal to 3. Now here I will enter num is equal to, I entered this 9, correct? So num was 9. Now it is checking if num is less than 0. If 9 is less, no it is not. So it will not come to this line. Count still remains 2 only and my I is incremented. So after this my count still remains 2 only, same. Still remains, no increment. No increment, correct? Because it will not enter this line only, right? Because this condition is not satisfying, so it will not enter this line, correct? But this line it will come. So I here becomes I is equal to, I was 3, so it will be 3 plus 1 equal to 4. Now iteration 4. Iteration 4, my count was still 2. My count is still 2. I is equal to 4. Correct? Now again it will check 4 is less than, again num it is asking me, so I entered 4 here. Now again it will check if num is less than, no it is not, the count still remains 2, I incremented to 5. Again it will check, again I have entered 5. Again this is not satisfying, so count still remains 2 for me. This incremented to 6. So now again check, again it will come, I enter a number -3. Now this num is satisfying, right? So now here the count increments from 2 till to 3. So it will be 2 plus 1, 3 and I become 7, right? Like this it goes on for all and all. And finally I print, after this entire loop is completed, when I becomes 10, I just print the count. So count gives me the number of negative number. Is it clear, students? I hope it should be very line by line. I tried to explain you and how the iteration goes on. Clear? Now student, let us write a simple program on this. I would suggest first you all try and then see my code. Okay, so here we have to just print this series. Okay, we have to write a program to display this series. Just understand first, students, to display a series. See, the starting is 100 and it goes till 1. So my start will be 100, stop is 1, and what should be my step? See, it is 100, then 97, 94, 91. So in the step of, what is the difference? 197, 3, 97, 94, 3 again. So in the step of minus 3. So I just need to print in the step of minus 3. So very simple. Let me do with the for loop. For loop will be very easy. I is equal to, yeah, sorry, not I. So yeah, for I in range, what will be my range? 100 starting, end will be 1, and in the step of minus 3. Correct? Simple. Print I. That's it. That's the program, just 2 lines program. Now let's save and see how it works. Did you see? The complete series we got, but we got till 4. What is the problem we did? We wanted till 1, they said, right? So we did a mistake here. I told you the stop is always less than 1, right? So instead of 1, I have to write is 0 here, right? Now let's see. Remember, I told you the stop will go always minus 1 till 1 minus 1. Now it's fine. Clear? The same thing you could have done with while loop also. Can you try doing that with while loop? Just try, just pause the video and try, and then I'll show how we can do this. Okay. Now here again I'll take I is equal to 100. So while, my condition will be while I will be what? I have to go while I is greater than 0. I have to continue this, right? Print I, and here I is equal to I minus 3 I have to do. Correct? Do you think this program will run? Simple thing. See, the same thing I have just converted in the form of while loop. While, because we have a condition, so I have taken the start is my 100, increment will be of in the step of minus 3, so I is equal to I minus 3, and my condition will be, this will be go on till I is greater than 0, because I have to take till 0, right? So let's see if it works for us. Yeah, see, it worked. So the same thing you could have written in both for and while. Clear? Now this second program is also very simple, this series. Here start is 10, stop is 100 in the increment of 10. Correct? So you can do it with both your for and while. Okay? Now let's try to write this last program on number 4. So what you have to do, you have to write a program to accept many numbers, to accept as many numbers as the user wants. The program should display the sum of numbers divisible by 7. So if a number that user enters, if it is divisible by 7, we have to keep a count of that, because we have to display the sum of numbers. Don't have to display the count, but sum of numbers divisible by 7. Clear? Now let's try to write this program. Let me comment out this. Yeah, in this one only. Let's see. Let me just copy. So it's similar, because we have to do as many the user want, right? So we will need a sum here. We will need a choice here, right? So again, choice will be depending on user. So we'll have this condition. So we'll enter a number. Now here we don't have to sum. Before sum, we have to check if the number is divisible by 7, right? So I'll check if num mod, remember that mod sign that I told you to find the remainder. So if mod 7 means it will find the remainder. So if I divide my number with 7, if the mod is remainder is equal to 0, that means it is divisible by 7, right? So I have to find the sum. So it will be then correct. So if my number is divisible by 7, that means its mod will be 0 remainder. So I will do a sum. Okay. and then my this another will, then I'll again ask for the choice. So till that time it will go, and finally I'll print the sum of the numbers divisible by 7 is. Is it clear, students? Simple. Now let's run and then I'll show you. Okay, it will ask me for a number. Okay, now suppose I enter a number 49. It is divisible by 7, right? It is asking me, you want to continue? I said yes. Again enter. Maybe I enter 14. It is again divisible. So it's saying again you want to go yes. Now it is asking me another number. Suppose I entered 15. It is not divisible, right? So you want to continue? I say no, I'm fine. So see, it will give me the sum of the numbers divisible. So these two were divisible. Sum of these two numbers is 63. Correct. Now let's try to go again in this iteration form and let's see how it worked. Okay. So in iteration 1, first time my sum was, let's remove all this. Yeah. So my sum was 0. Correct. And my choice is y. Now it will ask me to enter a number. I entered a number as 49. Correct. The first number I entered was 49. So it will do if 49 remainder 7 is 0. Now 49 when I divide by 7 remainder comes 0, right? So this condition satisfied. Correct. So it will come to this line. Here my sum is equal to sum plus num. Sum is what? 0. So it will be 0 plus num is 49. So now my sum becomes 49. Correct. It will ask me for the choice again. I enter something. I enter the choice as y. Correct. So my choice here is y. So this again satisfy. It will go for iteration 2. Correct. Now iteration 2. Now iteration 2. What happens? Tell me. Here your sum is how much? Sum is 49. Right? See, your sum is 49. Your choice is y. Correct? What you have entered. Choice is y. So this condition satisfy. It will come here, ask me for a number. I have entered 14. Right? Now here num I have entered as num is equal to 14. Now num is equal to 14 I enter. Now num mod 7 means if I divide 14 by 7 the remainder is 0, right? So this satisfy again it will come to this line. Now here my sum becomes sum is equal to sum plus num. Sum is 49 from first iteration, right? So it will be 49 plus num. Num is 14 which I entered now 14. Correct. Again it will ask me for the choice. So I gave y again. Correct. So now it will go for iteration 3. In iteration 3 your sum and choice is what? Your sum is now 63, right? 63. Choice is y only. They have asked me to enter a number again. So I entered 15 now, right? So here my num is equal to 50. So now it will check 15 mod 7 means when we divide 15 by 7 is remainder 0. No, it is not. So this condition does not satisfy. So it will not come to this line. It will directly come to this line. So my sum still remains 63 only. There is no change in sum, right? So now it is again asking me for the choice. I entered n means this condition does not satisfy. It will come out of this entire while loop and it will print the sum of numbers of 7 is sum. Now sum was my last 63. So it printed 63. Clear? I hope students your loop concept must be clear. But still if you have any doubt you can comment me. I'll try to solve it. So I hope loop for and the while loop both concepts are clear to you. Right? Thank you students.